Here's the headline: 2 DEI programs, not 1, but 2. I mean, how many did they have, for goodness sakes? They're axing the programs for diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. It's just the latest company, of course, to walk back some of this wokeness. I mean, you have Google, for example, getting rid of all its fancy schmancy holidays. I mean, what would I do without every single month being some other affinity group's holiday? Well, what do you know? Google's actually getting rid of all those. I couldn't believe it. I'm not going to be able to know when it's Black History Month. I'm not going to be able to know when it's Indigenous Peoples Day. No. They're getting rid of all that. Check it out. I want to show you. Yep, Google Calendar has removed cultural events from their site, including Pride Month, Black History Month, Holocaust Remembrance Day, Jewish Heritage, Hispanic Heritage, Indigenous Peoples Day. What about, women and all that? I mean, there's so many. It's exhausting, right? When you look at your calendar, because you start to see things and you hear things that you've never even heard of before. It's always a day, it's always a month. So that's going bye-bye, along with Disney, of course, dumping its DEI programs. I don't know how that's going to sit so well with the likes of, say, Whoopi Goldberg, who's, all about those initiatives, or even, well, what about this guy, Captain America? The Captain America that thinks Captain America doesn't represent America. Here he is, just a couple of weeks ago, over in Rome, Italy, speaking on the international stage, kind of trashing Captain America, and America for that matter.
For me, Captain America represents a lot of different things, and I don't think the term, America should be one of those representations. It's about a man who keeps his word, who has honor, dignity, and integrity, someone who is trustworthy and dependable. This is kind of like an aspect of a dream coming true. When I was a kid, all of us as actors, I believe, want to get back to that day before someone told you no. When you look out your door and you see a 5-year-old kid with a stick and he's slaying dragons to save the princess in the tower, that kid really believes there are dragons out there. That stick is really a sword and he's really trying to save that princess. And then one day somebody told him, no, there are no dragons, that's not a sword, and that princess is not there. And all of his little dreams were dashed. So, as an actor, I feel like our job is to get back to the day where we see that dragon and we slay that dragon to save that princess.
And we must admit that somehow Captain America, who's about all this goodness and, good triumphing over evil, that's not America. I mean, wow. What a way to sell a movie, buddy. I think he knows he's on the skids. I mean, now the DEI program's out. He's got to actually deliver, like real box office delivery. And he was quoted recently, this is Anthony Mackie, the new Captain America, in Esquire magazine, saying he doesn't know if he has a second or third or fourth movie. He doesn't know if they'll continue to develop his character because the movie needs to perform. And well, that's the name of the game, right? We are a capitalist nation. You do work for a for-profit company, one Disney, that actually needs to make a profit on your stuff. Disney pulling back out of the DEI programs. It's Reimagine Tomorrow program, a big DEI push coming right out of the SEC filing, the 10K that they just put forward. The program had been seen as, quote, amplifying underrepresented voices and features some of Disney's DE&I commitments and action. Well, they're getting rid of it because, apparently they were promising 50% of regular and recurring characters around the Disney universe. They would all come from underrepresented groups. Here's the executive speaking on it in March of 2023, sort of saying, hey, we got to do this. Not anymore.
And that was the thing that really got me, because I have heard so much from so many of my colleagues over the course of the last couple of weeks, in open forums and through emails and phone conversations. And I feel a responsibility to speak, not just for myself, but for them, to all of us. We had an open forum last week at 20th where, again, the home of really incredible, groundbreaking LGBTQIA stories over the years, where one of our execs stood up and said, we only have a handful of queer leads in our content. And I went, what? That can't be true. And I realized, it actually is true. We have many, many, many LGBTQIA characters in our stories, and yet we don't have enough leads. and narratives in which gay characters just get to be characters, and not have to be about gay stories. And so that's been very eye-opening for me. And I can tell you, it's something that I feel perhaps had this moment not happened, I as a leader and me as my colleagues would not have focused on. And going forward, I certainly will be more so. I know that we will be. And I hope this is a moment where, shoot, the 50% of the tears, sorry, are coming. We just don't allow each other to go backwards.
Okay. Well, sorry, honey. Apparently you're going backwards as far as that is concerned, because they're totally dumping the initiatives, which means that some of these characters, some of these storylines, some of these movies are going to actually have to stand on their own 2 feet at the box office, which is how it should be, right? I mean, just like George Stephanopoulos should not have that gig just because he's a Clinton crony, as he is and was. Don't forget, this is the guy that was like the Caroline Levitt, if you can imagine that. Good luck. The Caroline Levitt of the White House back in the day under Bill Clinton. So he was always spinning for the Democrats. That's all he's ever done. And then he went to work at ABC News, where he's masquerading around as a quote-unquote journalist with a capital J. I'm Mr. Stephanopoulos. Good luck with that one, okay? And people saw through it. Everyone saw through it. We've all seen through the mainstream media, and we've come out on the other side. And you know what? There's going to be hell to pay. Hell to pay, including for people like Letitia James. Donald Trump calling her out, Steve Bannon calling her out, Trish Regan calling her out. But first, quick word from one of our sponsors, American Heart for Gold. You can get up to $15,000 worth of free silver right now with qualifying purchases of gold. You know, I'm a big believer in diversification. It's a lot of what I talk about at 76 Research, my financial research company. And gold is something that we put into our income builder portfolio. It is something that we actually like a lot for a whole lot of reasons, including the inflation picture, also including the drive for emerging market countries all around the world to try and stockpile something other than U.S. treasuries. This is another reason why gold is so, seeing so much upside in this moment in time. So go check it out. And if you're going to invest in gold, go with my friends over at American Heart for Gold. Go to TrishLovesGold.com. TrishLovesGold.com. You can text Trish to 65532. You can call them at 1-844-495-1115. Again, if you use that code word Trish, you can get up to $15,000 worth of free silver. Not bad. And by the way, silver tends often to move alongside gold. So kind of a worthwhile thing to have. Again, up to $15,000 in free silver. Text Trish to 65532 or go to TrishLovesGold.com.